And we're back here on the Arkansas Sports Network for Hometown Sports Media Day here at Baptist Prep High School. And I am excited to be joined by the new head football coach of the Jacksonville Titans, Coach Reggie Swinton. Coach Reggie, thank you for being here with us today.
I'm glad to be here for sure.
So tell us a little bit about your decision to move on from Forest City and go on to Jacksonville.
Well, great opportunity to get back home. That long drive to Forest City every day, an hour and a half one way, was detrimental. And you know, a chance to get to a program that was trying to win and doing things the right way and ready to invest in a coach and a winning product. And so that was a big decision on me coming back home.
That interstate drive wasn't no joke, was it?
I would say 3 hours a day, 15 hours a week, $1,000 a month in gas.
Yeah.
Would help you make a few decisions.
Exactly. Especially if you get hung up in some traffic. It's even worse than that.
Oh, my God.
So you are all about promoting your players. And
Yes.
so talk to me a little bit about the mindset and the idea behind that.
Well, you know, a lot of coaches are set out to win rings. And, you know, my thing is not to, well, I want to win a ring, but I'd rather, you know, watch these kids get their dreams. And seeing these kids play on Saturdays and get their degree, that's my ring. So the more kids I can see play, and I can sit back on Saturdays and watch them play, that's all the ring I need as a head coach. I'm not chasing a ring. I'm chasing kids' dreams.
Yeah, so tell me about some of the I know that you've coached a lot of guys that have played college ball. So talk to me a little bit about just what it takes for you to put into what guys have to do to become a high-level college football player.
Well, they have, number one, that has to be what they want to do. And they have to eat, sleep, and breathe it and have to be dedicated. A lot of players say they want it but don't put the work in. And then the guys that put the work in, those normally the guys that get there. And I know what it takes to get there. And so just trying to bring my experience and the things I've learned throughout the times I played and just, you know, show the kids, hey, if you want this and you show me that you're dedicated and you make plays, then I'll make the phone call. And my thing is, if you ball, I'll call. But you got to ball for me to make that call. And then you got to have the grades, you know, for me to call. There are so many guys that, you know, play well, but they don't have the grades to go anywhere. So, you know, we emphasize school and then taking care of your business, and I'll take care of mine.
That's a big thing there is that you can be the best athlete out there, but if you don't have the grades, you ain't getting far.
Oh, I've seen many of them like that. I won't name any names,
Yeah,
but
you can't do that.
I've seen many of them who, you know, were better than me, but they didn't have the dedication to take care of the school.
You got to be dedicated in class as much as you are in the weight room and on that field. If you're not, it doesn't do you any good.
Wasted talent.
Wasted talent, and we see it every day.
Every day.
So, Coach, moving into Jacksonville, that's a team that has struggled a little bit recently, but I know that whenever you go to a new school, you like to change a lot of things. So tell me about some of the changes that you've been making at Jacksonville.
Well, number one, you got to build a winning culture. Kids, you know, when you're used to losing, you're used to losing. But when you're used to winning, you're used to winning. And I'm used to winning, so losing is not in my DNA. And so coming in, just changing the kids' mindset. You can't wear earrings in meetings. Can't wear flip-flops in meetings. You have to be on time or you get punished. You have to do the little things right. You know, we all can call plays and we all can do things of that sort. But it's the little things that helps you win ball games and lose ball games. And so I learned that from Houston Nutt. It's little things, win ball games and lose ball games. And it's the fine details of kids, you know, having to trust each other and doing what's right when nobody is looking, going by the rules that we set. And just, you know, kids can't wear hoodies. It's 90 degrees outside. I don't let kids wear hoodies. I mean, you got to change everything about a loser. And I ain't calling the kids a loser, but their environment was losing. So you got to change everything about that before you can talk about winning a football game.
Yeah, so having played in the NFL, what are some things that you bring from the professional game that you learned to now be coaching at a high school level?
Knowledge, discipline, you know, playing for Bill Parcells. So my philosophy is 3 coaches. It's Ron Calcagney, then Houston Nutt, then Bill Parcells. So my discipline comes from Bill Parcells. He was a no-nonsense guy.
He didn't play.
He did not play at all. I mean, you couldn't be late or he would fine you the max. Then my play calling, the names come from Coach Calcagney. the same offense he runs, and then how I call plays, how I structure plays, Houston Nutt. And so I put all those guys in one, and you have a successful coach.
That's a pretty good combination.
Which is I think I've been successful on all levels. So when you combine that, I think Jacksonville, I think we'll have a pretty good season.
Your background ought to help build that culture in Jacksonville, get these kids to buy into what you're trying to change them to be. They know that you've been there, you've seen that, so you're not leading them astray. You're not sending them down the wrong road.
And that's the thing. A lot of those kids, they look up to me, and they bank everything on what I say because I've been where they want to go. And so, they talk about me sometimes badly, call me bald head and call me everything. But when you look at it, they love me, I love them. And kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And when they know how much you care, they'll buy into everything you're selling. And by me being, a former Cowboy, Lion and Cardinal, they look at that, come in my office and see my pictures up, and they see that, and that's what they want. So when I tell them to do something, they normally do it because they know I know what I'm talking about. And I have the connections to get them in college. I have a lot of people I can call to help get them in college. So, as long as they ball, I'll call.
That college degree without owing a bunch of money when you get out, that's a big plus.
Free tuition is everybody's mission.
I guarantee it. Well, I'm a finance director at a car lot. It's student loan debt's bad.
Yeah, it is. Hey, student loan debt will chase you forever.
It sure will. And if you can get there by playing a game, then that's how it is.
That's the part I don't get is kids don't understand because they have the kid mindset. When they become adults, life gets 10 times harder.
It does that.
So why not make it easier for yourself right now? Why not do the little things right to make your life easier? But it's like we haven't been there before when we talk to them because they know it all.
Exactly.
They know it all. And if I could go back and bang my hat on what I was taught when I was younger, I'd be a better person right now.
Every one of us.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me a little bit about your schedule this year, who you guys are playing. I'm sure having come in just really recently as the new head coach, what your non-conference looks like. I'm sure you didn't have anything to do with who you scheduled or anything, but tell me what that non-conference schedule looks like, and then going into the conference play, what that looks like as well.
Let me tell you, right now for me, the most exciting game that I can look at in front of me right now is our benefit game, Central High School. And it's because I went to Central High School. That's my alma mater.
That's what I thought.
And I went there since I was 5 years old, kindergarten. So I've been a Tiger my whole life. And, I bleed black and gold. So to be on the opposite side of Central, who just left, and Coach Robinson, it's going to be an honor for me because I love my high school. But that night, August 22nd, will be the only night on God's green earth that I would not be going for Central High School, right? And then our next game is against Malvern, who has a history of winning and got a really good coach down there. So we can't take anybody lightly, so we're going to, work hard for that. Then we got Lone Oak, who beat me last year when I was in Forest City and beat me handily 34-0.
They got a new coach as well, didn't they?
No, that's the same
one.
Coach Denberg,
Okay.
yeah. So they beat me 34-0 last year, and I don't forget. And that's the only game that we didn't score last year. So, I don't forget.
Don't forget.
And then
He
we
probably
got
knows
DeWitt.
that.
Yeah.
He knows that.
Yeah. I'm going to say it again. I don't forget. And then we got DeWitt, who has a history. New coach, but a history of winning. So our non-conference is hard, but we're going to fight hard to win those games.
Well, it's like the previous coaches have said, if you have a cupcake non-conference schedule, that really doesn't do you any good for a tough conference schedule.
Right.
You don't know where you stand. Kids get the big head. They think they're better than they are. Then they get up against a good team, and then, oh, no, we're not that. Right.
Down, yeah. And so, but I got some kids that believe we're going to win, and these kids are fighting hard every single day in practice, and we're making these kids, get out of it. So we got a team camp tomorrow at Fountain Lake, then 7:07 Thursday at Lake Hamilton, and then one more team camp next Thursday at Mills. Then it's time to get ready to really get going August 4th when camp starts.
Yeah. So, Coach, I'll ask you one more thing, and then we'll get your kids in here because I know that's what it's all about for you.
Now, nobody wants to talk to them.
Tell me, what would be a successful season for you in your first year at Jacksonville?
Well, seeing the kids smile. It hadn't been a lot of smiling going around there in Jacksonville, winning 6 games in 6 years.
Not much there.
So seeing the kids smile and making the playoffs. When I got interviewed, I told them the same thing I told Forest City in their interview. We're making the playoffs. And they looked at me all weird and crazy. But I believe in me. If nobody believes in me, I believe in me. And I know what God can do because I'm a living witness of what God can do. And when you do things the right way and when you do things his way, then it'll all work out. And with these guys I have right here leading me, these guys are awesome right here. Mason Ball has offers from Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Purdue. I mean, he got major offers, and they're committable offers. And he'll just be a junior. Then Matthew Goldsberry transferred in. The kid is he's really overlooked. The kid should have a lot of major offers right now. He's a complete athlete. He has an offer right now to Northeastern State University, and he should have a lot more. And then Torrey Trotter is under the radar. I didn't know this kid until I got here. And everybody told me how good he was, but I got to see for myself. So he looked good in helmets and shorts. But the team camp we had in Batesville, he had a tremendous team camp. And after that team camp, I said, y'all, I'm sold. And this kid is a star, but he's just not known. So my job as a coach is to make sure these kids get out there because there are certain kids that's not ready for college ball. These kids are ready. And I want to make sure these kids get there by any means necessary. If that means I got to take them in my car myself to go around and see these schools, these kids are balling, and I'm steady calling.
So back to when you said you believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you can't expect anybody else to.
Right. And so, some call me confident, some call me cocky and arrogant. Well, guess what? I am.
You got to be.
I am. There's no way you get to the top of the football world and you're not cocky and arrogant. There's no NFL player that I played with or played against that's not arrogant.
It's not even
cocky.
Just football. It's in life general.
Yeah, life. So if you're successful, you have some sort of arrogance about yourself. Yeah, I'm cocky and all of that. Call me what you want, but you can also call me a winner.
That's it.
Well, Coach, I was going to ask you to introduce your players, but I think you did a pretty good job of that already. So you can go ahead and bring those guys over here.
Can we do this without showing their faces?